Folks, Mark here, just doing a video on the new knife that I purchased here today. It's the Buck Selkirk quote-unquote survival knife. Purchased it at Canadian Tire. Sorry about that. It was regular $90 and they got them on clearance now for $60. So I decided to pick it up and check it out. Seen a lot of good reviews online about it. So I said, you know what, I had $50 there in Canadian Tire money, so I said, nah, screw it, I'll buy it and try it out and see what it's like. This is just going to be, I haven't used it yet, so this is just my first impressions of the blade. I've been looking at it since last summer, checking it out and everything there. It seemed to be pretty good when I used it. There's a good sharp edge onto it, and nice set of micarta scales on there, and what looks to be a decent sheath. Now, after reading a few reviews, a lot of people said the sheath 50-50 on whether it's good or not. I'm thinking about probably getting a leather sheath made up for it with fire steel loop there as well. But yeah, the sheath is like a thermal molded nylon, I believe. It seems alright for right now. I mean, you know, I like the mounting system onto it, so you can carry it different ways. I know one guy that reviewed onto it. He carries it like a scout style, which is a nice way to carry it. Easy access to the blade now. It's got a nice thumb release there for getting the blade in and out, which I like. I got that same feature on my Memorial Companion. Anybody who has a Memorial Companion knows what I'm talking about. And really nice for getting the blade in and out one-handed. Especially when you're trying to do a video with a cell phone. So I apologize for the quality. But yeah, it's, like I said, it's Buck Selkirk. It's got a 4.8-inch blade. Spine is, at the widest part here, 40 millimeters thick. It's got a nice taper to it. A nice sharp point. It's got a full flat grind. This one is razor sharp. And like I said earlier, micarta scales. It's all full tang construction, which I like. It's got some really aggressive jimping here, which would be good because I do a bit of hunting and stuff. So if I go to do any skinning, I'm normally not a big fan of jimping, but this seems to be alright. And like I said, using it as a skinner would be a nice spot to put the thumb. Spine is relatively sharp. I mean, it does throw decent sparks off the fire steel, which I have tried. The little groove down here really throws some nice sparks. And the thing I like is grooved out enough so that if you have a bigger fire steel or ferrocerium rod than what this comes with, then it'll work for that as well. The other thing I like is because it is groove, you can sharpen your blade all the way to the end, which is really nice. You know, some knives don't have that feature, and I like it. Like I said, I haven't been able to use it yet now, so I'm looking forward to getting out in the woods to use it. If we can actually friggin' get warmed up at all, to actually get outside and not freeze to death. But yeah, now the blade is made in China. A lot of people have a problem with that. I decided to give it a try. I mean, it's made in China, but hey, everything's getting made over there now, and it is still a Buck knife, so one would assume that any factory that's producing these knives for Buck would still have to live up to their Buck standards. And it does have the forever warranty, so if it breaks, I'll just send it back and get another one. So, just a nice little shot there of the knife. Like I say, nice full flat grind, nice finish on the blade there. Again, good sharp spine. And then, like I say, it comes with a ferro rod. And I mean, I'm sure this is not the first review anybody's seen on this, so if it is, thank you for choosing mine. It's not going to be the highest quality, but it's good. That fire steel is really locked in there. I like the locking system onto it. As you can see, I've already scraped off and took a few strikes with it. It's got a little lanyard onto it, which is nice. It's got a built-in whistle here in the handle. I'm not blowing it because everybody knows what a whistle sounds like, and if you're like myself, you hate when somebody blows the whistle. and damn near deafened you, especially if you're listening with headphones. But I mean, it's got a nice little locking system there for locking into the sheath. Now, I don't know how long it's going to last or whatnot before it breaks or slides out, but yeah, we'll give it a go. I usually always carry a fire steel in my pocket anyway, or ferrocerium rod. My pocket, so I'm not too worried. The sheath, like I say, you got a little fire steel carrier. You got your different pins, you get your screws there for holding it on. You get your screws on the back for your multi-mount system, which I haven't tried yet, but I'll start carrying it. Once I start carrying it, and I'll fiddle with it to get it to where I want to carry it. Like I say, I'm going to look in, try to find somebody to make me up a nice leather sheath for it with the ferrocerium rod holder. A couple guys I follow on YouTube make leather sheaths now. I don't know if they make them to sell or if they just make them for themselves. So I'll have to message them and find out. Like I say, I'd like to get a nice leather sheath for it, bushcraft style. I think that knife will look really nice into it. And because the handle scales are just on there with screws, I may try my hand at, I do have a couple moose antlers from last season. I may try to make a set of scales out of the moose antler and put on this knife, which I think that would look really nice. You know, a buck knife with antler scales, you know, it just kind of goes together. Now it'd be moose antlers to the deer antler, but, you know, that's all you can do. There's no deer in Newfoundland. But either way, I do like the scales. It's got a real nice texture. And back to the sheath. I mean, one thing I do like I say, some people find it crappy, but the thing I like about it is the knife slides in there fairly easy. But when it goes in, I mean, that locks in with retention now. Whether that'll wear over time or not, I don't know. But as of right now, I mean, that knife ain't going nowhere. I mean, that's locked in, and I mean, I got to put some good effort there to get that knife out. So, like I say, should hold up pretty good. So, like I say, this is just my general overview. I'll try to do a few more videos when I go out with it now and do some testing onto it. That should meet everything I need to do it for. I mean, let's see what it's, I mean, full flat grinds. I mean, I got a couple opal knives, so I mean, their grinds are all full. They use all full flat grinds, and those knives are razor sharp. I've used them numerous times for some feather sticking, but mostly just like making curls and stuff when I'm at my buddy's cabin for his wood stove and that. So it should do well for that, and processing any fish or game that, you know, I catch. As well as, you know, food prep if need be, or carving task or anything. It's full tang, so I'm sure if I wanted to use it to baton wood, and I mean, I may do it. I do some light batoning for, like, if I'm doing any crafting or whatever. If I'm doing any woodcraft and I need to just baton a small, you know, just a small piece, like quarter or half inch piece of wood or something, to get some small slabs. But as for big stuff, I don't worry about, because considering this is Newfoundland and in the wintertime, you don't really want to be going out in the woods without carrying an axe anyway. Yeah, not really going to worry about batoning too much. And then in the summertime, I'm not going to worry about it either, because again, I still usually carry an axe. And if I don't have an axe, I mean, most of the wood you're going to find down you're going to be able to break anyway to make your fires. And like I say, light batoning, I'm sure it'll hold up for, just like if I want to make some small kindling. But I always carry an axe on me anyway. It's just the way I am. I'm sure it'll probably hold up to batoning, but again, it's not going to be used for that, so I'm not too concerned. But yeah, to get back to the specs, I know I started on that and then went off on a tangent. But like I said, the overall length is 9.5 inches. Blade length is 4.8 inches. It's 40 millimeters thick, approximately, at the widest part here in the spine, there back where the jimping's too. The weight onto it is 7.6 ounces, and I believe it's 10.6 ounces with the sheath. It's Buck standard 420 high carbon steel. And I mean, anybody who's used a buck knife knows, you know, that it's pretty good steel. I mean, I got a Buck 110 folder, same steel in that, and that's strong as anything. I only took out a couple small chips, and I mean, I took them out just with a bit of sharpening work there. But and they had only chipped out because I was just using it for something I shouldn't have used it for. I should have used the hatchet I had instead of using the knife. But whatever, you know, live and learn, right? You use what you got, and it's just quicker to grab knives sometimes and look for the hatchet. But yeah, overall impressions. I mean, I like the steel bolster on the back in case I have to crack something open, whatever that might be. I mean, I do. As I say, I live in Newfoundland on the coast, so if I ever if it goes fishing or something, and I need to, you know, if I get lost down by the salt water or something like that, and I need to get some, crack open some snails for a bit of bait, or crack open a few clams or some mussels or something for bait or for food or whatever. Nice solid palm will do the job. I don't think it's going to work I don't think it will work very well for roughing up tinder, but got the back of the blade for that. And like I say, it's not a real good sharp 90-degree spine, but I mean it's sharp enough to like scrape up some birch bark or whatnot. And then like I say, this bottom groove here throws some really nice sparks. And I mean, all I need to do if I really want to make it nice, just use a Dremel tool or a tip I got by following I seen in another video there the other night by another YouTuber there. Use like a 80 grit sandpaper and rub it back and forth, and that'll give you a nice sharp 90-degree spine too. So like I said, picked it up at Canadian Tire there, regular $90, and they got them on clearance for $60 there now. So I mean, you know, if you're someone that's looking to get one, but you're like, yeah, I don't really feel like justifying $90 plus tax for a knife, you know, might be a good time to pick one up when it's on clearance. Marathon Spook, I know you mentioned you wanted to pick one up, so you might want to check out the Canadian Tire stores where you live there in Nova Scotia, and you might be able to get. It might be a good time for you to get yourself one if you haven't already got one. But yeah, anyway, that's my video. The overall impressions. Like I said, I'm going to try to get up some more videos now. Calling for a decent weekend, so I might try to get down to my buddy's cabin and get out, do a bit of rabbit snaring and hunting and maybe a bit of ice fishing while the season's still open, while everything's open. And anyway, and try to maybe have a boil up, get a cup of tea on the go or something. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Have a good day. Bye.